Épices de cru with...
Philippe?
Also épices de cru. Listen, I have a good story for you. You got to listen to this one. In the 17th century, you couldn't have heard of this. It's too funny. This Dutch official realized that, mace was more profitable than nutmeg. So he sent a note off to the people in the Moluccas where the stuff was coming from. And he says to them, stop planting nutmeg trees and plant more mace trees.
Well, it's a typical example of a corporate idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about because it's the same tree. And the same tree gives two different spices. You have the nutmeg here, or the nut, as they call it in the West Indies, and you have the mace around it. And you can actually see the traces of the mace on the shell. And it's wrapped around like this, and it's one tree that gives two different spices.
I look at this and I just took a little piece. It reminds me, I'm right back in my grandmother's kitchen, where she used to use mace in making her pastries and stuff like that. And I'm under the impression, I don't know, I remember that it's because she found that the nutmeg was too strong for what she wanted to do.
Well, she's right. She was her grandma. How could she be wrong? But no, it's true that whereas both spices have the same volatile oils, they have it in different proportions, which makes nutmeg a little more coarse and bold and fragrant, and mace a little more delicate. That's why we use mace for pastries, like things like old-fashioned donuts, cakes, fish dishes, delicate charcuteries, whereas the nutmeg tends to be used more for stronger flavoring dishes like cheese sauces and sausages and things like that, and curries.
I've seen you take nutmeg sometimes when you're not looking so sure, you're concerned about something and put it in.
It's what I call the ambulance spice. When something's wrong with your dish and the flavors are not coming together, a little scraped nutmeg, somehow it brings the flavor and it helps them mate and have a happy, good time together.
You know what I remember distinctly? I was a little girl, but I remember my grandmother taking the mace and grinding it to use it. It was
in a mortar.
Yeah, it was ground.
Whereas nutmeg is different. Nutmeg, you grate it. And if you're lucky enough to get one of these little ones here with the shell on, you get a much fresher product, as with any nut with the shell on. And you just crack the nut, and inside you have the meg, as they call it in the West Indies, or the nutmeg, as we call it.
Yeah.
And you just grate it and use it. What?
I'll make you a little demonstration. And if you're good,
if
you're good.
I know what this is.
You made me drop it. Look at what happened now. Okay. This, as you probably have guessed by now, is
your famous rum punch.
That's right.
Probably your grandmother's recipe.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think you deserve a break.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll drink it. No. There you go.